You know, when I think of platformers, I tend to think of games that are 2D, side-scrolling games. Things like Super Mario Brothers, things like Super Mario World, things like Super Mario Wonder. Lots of Mario games. But today I want to talk about 3D platformers. And while, yes, I could very easily continue that conversation and keep talking about 3D platformers, games like Super Mario 64, games like Super Mario Sunshine, games like Super Mario Galaxy, I'm actually not going to bring up any Mario games in this video. What's going on, everybody? I'm Jay. Welcome to Square Pegs. Most of my videos tend to skew retro, and we are going to step back all the way to the PS1 and the N64 generation, but this is going to go all the way up to the PS5 today. So let's kick things off with one of my favorite games on the PlayStation 1. By today's standards, something like Jumping Flash might look archaic or just bizarre based on what it is. It is and was the first ever true 3D platforming video game as dubbed by the Guinness Book of World Records. Now, this is a pretty ingenious approach on 3D platforming. You play as a rabbit. It is in a first-person perspective, and you're able to shoot. So it's almost a FPS platformer, kind of like Doom Eternal. Now I'm going out on a limb and saying this is the precursor to Doom Eternal here, is Jumping Flash. But it's a brilliant game, and it's a very simple game to understand. You need to collect the different fuel that you're able to use to activate the exit platform, and the fuel, of course, since you are a bunny, are carrots. You are able to shoot the different enemies that are in the game. There are different environmental hazards that you're going to run into as you play. Like in the second stage, it's got some lava elements to it that you need to jump over and avoid. You're able to do a super jump to make yourself go up higher. You have to utilize the different environmental elements to move around, and it is legitimately one of the greatest PlayStation games ever released. It's something that I frequently forget about, which is a shame because it is so damn brilliant. If you haven't played it, you really should. Jumping Flash is a classic example of 3D platforming and one of the best on the OG PlayStation. Much like the GameCube, there's no shortage of amazing 3D platformers on the Nintendo Switch, and the easy answer here is Super Mario Odyssey, because let's face it, it's probably the greatest 3D Mario game ever made. But I want to step outside of the Mario bounds, as I had mentioned at the start of the video, and I'm going to go with something that I think is often decried as being boring and just not well made, and I don't understand that because I think it is a fantastic game. Not that I'm not looking forward to the remake coming out. This is Yooka-laylee. This was developed by Playtonic. These are guys that are former Rare employees, and they wanted to make something that was fun and kind of in that spirit of N64 collectathon games, just looking a hell of a lot nicer than those N64 games did. And I think they crushed it. I love the characters of Yooka and Laylee. I love the level designs. I love just kind of resetting my brain to something 20 years prior where I was able to just kind of mindlessly enjoy a collectathon, where I was able to just beat up endless waves of enemy drones and find the different pages and the different quills in each level to find as much stuff as I was able to. I love it. I think it's a wonderful game. Like I said, I am excited for Yooka-Laylee because I think there are some improvements that could be made, but I think it got a bad rap. I really do love this one. This might not be a popular opinion, but I really enjoy the Epic Mickey games. I think they are absolutely fantastic. I loved the original on the Wii. I really did like, despite its just horrible performance flaws, Epic Mickey 2 on the Wii U, and I was excited when Epic Mickey Rebrushed got announced, and I recently picked it up for the PlayStation 5, and I am having an absolute blast with it. This is such a wonderful throwback to the Wii generation with so many improvements over the original. Like, there's no forced motion controls, which I really appreciate, and yeah, the motion controls on the Wii worked great, but it is, to me at least, a game that feels like it was tailor-made for two sticks and a standard controller, and it just plays brilliantly well. The look of the game is spectacular, the sound is wonderful, it is a wonderfully imaginative story that I think really had legs, and unfortunately the bottom just fell out on it after the second game performed so poorly, which is really, really a shame. If you have been on the fence about playing this game, or trying this one out, the remaster here, Rebrushed, I'm telling you to get past that, because you are going to find a game that was lovingly recrafted and lovingly remade in Unreal 4 to just perform amazingly well, to look great, to sound great, and to run super, super smoothly. It is absolutely wonderful. I personally believe you can't go wrong with any version of Sly Cooper, whether you want to go with the first one, the second one here that I'm showing, Sly 2, Band of Thieves, or you want to go with Sly 3. There are so many excellent experiences to be had in each and every Sly Cooper game that you're just going to love it. First off, the cast of characters is fantastic. Sly, Murray, and Bentley are all amazing. Officer Carmelita Fox is awesome. The bad guys are wonderful. The level designs are incredible. This is Sucker Punch at their absolute best. And everything is tailor-made and designed for performance on the PlayStation 2. For something that is so inherently ingrained into that PS2 kind of just design elements and just that time frame, that time period, you're not going to find a better platformer. Now, you could go with Ratchet and Clank on the PS2, you could go with Jak and Daxter on the PS2, and any selection like that is going to be fantastic. But for my money, the Sly trilogy is one of the greatest trilogies in video game history. It is fun, it is imaginative, it has a great storyline, the gameplay is solid, and there are tons of collectibles in these games. Absolutely fantastic. Sly 2 Band of Thieves here, my personal favorite in the trilogy, but you can't go wrong with any of them. There are no shortage of fantastic 3D platformers on the Nintendo GameCube. Whether you want to look at something like Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy, or iNinja, which was almost the choice for this video, or something like Super Mario Sunshine, which I swore I wasn't going to talk about Mario games on this video, so my apologies for that. But when I think of the GameCube, the one that instantly springs to mind to me is actually Pac-Man World 2. And as much as I love the pack-in that included Pac-Man Versus, which was fantastic and I absolutely loved, Pac-Man World 2 really stands on its own as being an incredibly strong 3D platformer with all of the classic elements that you would expect from a 3D platformer featuring Pac-Man. It is decidedly faithful to the source material while also stepping out of the bounds a little bit of just traditional Pac-Man gameplay. Obviously, because it's now a 3D platformer, you're no longer in a maze, but the gameplay is still there where you need to collect power pellets in order to defeat the ghosts. There's some really good exploration elements as well, so while you're no longer in a maze, you do still kind of have that feeling of exploration, I guess, and if for lack of a better term. I really do enjoy this one, and I think there's some really remarkable, additives to this game as well. There's an arcade in the opening village where you're able to play games like the original Pac-Man, Pac-Attack, Pac-Mania, Ms. Pac-Man. There's a jukebox you can unlock, so there's all kinds of unlockables and collectibles in this game that just keep you coming back for more. I really enjoy this one, and hey, if you get the 2-pack with Pac-Man Versus in it, you're gonna have a blast. It's got 2 amazing games right there for the price of one. I was really at a loss as to what to pick for the Xbox 360. I kept trying to force different games into the criteria of being a 3D platformer when my favorite 3D platformer, and something that just holds so many core memories for me, is staring me right in the face, and it's Skylanders Swap Force. Now, if you are rolling your eyes immediately because of the selection of Skylanders, there are some incredibly important memories here tied into this game for me. This was the first game my child ever played. When my kid first got into video games, it was Pokemon and Skylanders was the first thing they ever played on the television. And they were all about trying to just explore and use the different characters and just find their favorite versions of characters to play as in these games. And not only did we do that with Victor, we also did that as a family. So it was Victor, myself, and my wife Meredith, and we all played this game together. And it's something that I still enjoy to this day. I absolutely loved Skylanders Swap Force. I thought it was a fantastic game. I thought it was incredibly fun and incredibly imaginative. And the entire concept of Toys to Life to me is something that was a market that, while it was well tapped by games like Skylanders and Lego Dimensions and Disney Infinity, things like that, it was something that I thought really was going to last a lot longer than it did. Unfortunately, the market just got flooded, and we don't have those games anymore, which really sucks because I would love to see the Skylanders franchise come back. I said no Mario, but I didn't say a damn word about Sonic. And I gotta go with Sonic Adventure from the Dreamcast, man. It is such Oh man, I want to say it's such a great game, but that would be a lie. It's a janky ass game. It is so busted in certain ways, and while it's a great game and it is one that I personally love, I can completely understand why people don't care for it in certain places. I can understand why they look at it and they think that Super Mario 64 is a superior game. I can understand why it's just not something they enjoy, because it is janky, it is twitchy, it is so very Sonic. And I think that's probably the best way to put it. It's dripping in attitude. It has a ton of just amazing gameplay experiences that, if you are a Sonic fan, and I think that is a massive prerequisite to enjoy this game, you're going to love. Even the jank is great. It's just janky. I don't know if there's a better way to explain it. I love Sonic Adventure. I think it is a wonderful title, and it's something where, even with all of its flaws, I think it's fantastic. Over on the PlayStation 4, I wanted to call out the Spyro Reignited trilogy, and primarily because this was something that my wife truly loved. This was a game that she was instantly obsessed with. The character of Spyro was just adorable, and she knew him from Skylanders, so she was already familiar with him and wanted to play his classic games, but the original Spyro games on the PS1 aren't the most user-friendly games to experience, so when the Reignited trilogy was announced and released, she hopped on it immediately, and she tore through all 3 games. Like, my wife is a completionist when she plays, and she was just pulling every single thread she could in each and every Spyro game to beat them all 100%, and it was awesome to watch. They're really fun, though. Like, this plays so much better than I remember the PS1 games playing. And yes, that is the benefit of modern technology and modern remasters and stuff like that. But Toys for Bob really, really excelled making this game. It was absolutely wonderful. Great title, perfect game for the PS4. I don't cover an awful lot of PSP stuff on this channel because I don't play an awful lot of PSP stuff, which is kind of a shame because it's a great little console. And I wanted to include something on this one, and I kept being drawn to more traditional games that I am used to playing, but I really wanted to call out Jak and Daxter here, because Jak and Daxter, The Lost Frontier, is wonderful. As much as I enjoy games, and I don't want to say like, because I see heavy flaws with games like Secret Agent Clank, but for me, Jak and Daxter The Lost Frontier really kind of is the entire picture. It plays so well. It has the traditional gameplay elements you would expect from a Jak and Daxter game. So you have the traditional 3D kind of platforming as you're going about and exploring these levels, but there's also like dogfight levels and stuff like that, which are really, really well done. I'm very impressed by The Lost Frontier. I think it is a wonderful game, and I really wish this franchise would come back. I'm so sad that it is kind of just dead and forgotten now, because there's something magical about these characters and about this world that they inhabit. I was debating whether or not to keep both Yooka-Laylee and banjo-kazooie on this list, because they are kind of two sides of the same coin here. Like, banjo-kazooie is the more superlative game by every conceivable metric that you can line it up against, but I do like them both. So I was almost at the point where I was going to include neither of them to avoid, kind of giving some kind of impression, I guess, that I only like one particular type of game. But I really just waited and thought, you know what? It's my video. I can include both of these on here if I want to. So I did. I really love banjo-kazooie. This was kind of my first real exposure to what Rare was capable of. Now, I had played other Rare games before this, but banjo-kazooie to me was kind of that full spectrum realization of what they were able to do. I thought the characters were incredibly imaginative. I loved the level designs. I thought the music was ungodly. Just some of the best music ever in a video game, and I still feel that way to this day. And it's just one of those games that, to me, was a necessity to own when I started collecting the N64, when I finally got an N64 in my collection a few years ago. This was one of the first games I picked up. It's amazing, it's fun, it holds up incredibly well to this day, and While yes, this is the Nintendo Switch version that was just recorded for ease of use because my Switch was hooked up and I didn't have to hook my N64 up to my RetroTink. Every version of this game is awesome, whether you're playing it here, whether you're playing it on original hardware, or you're playing it on Rare Replay on the Xbox One or Xbox Series, you won't be disappointed. So when I think of 3D platformers, I think of collectathons. I think of exploration. I think of wide, varied worlds. And I hope the games that I listed in this video today are games that you enjoy, that you appreciate, and that you are excited to see on this list. Let me know in the comments below your favorite 3D platformers, which ones they are, which platforms they're on, which ones did I pick that you just don't agree with. I'm sure we're going to have a difference of opinion, and that's cool. Gaming is a tapestry. If we all use the same color thread, it would be boring as hell. Till next time, folks, I've been Jay. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with me today. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up. The engagement helps the channel out. Subscribe if you really liked the video. I do a couple videos a week, and I got another one coming out this coming Friday. But until then, remember to play more games, stay square, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.